Hello everyone, and welcome back to Hidden Korea. Today, we bring you a story that has sent shockwaves through the entertainment world in the blink of an eye. Just moments ago, Hou Minghao and Yuexiao dropped a sudden relationship bombshell. And social media has erupted into absolute chaos. Fans are stunned. Timelines are melting. And the internet can barely keep up with the explosion of reactions pouring in every second. What led to this unexpected reveal? Why now? And what does it mean for both rising stars? And how did a single announcement ignite such a massive frenzy? Stay with us, because we're diving into every electrifying detail right now. The announcement hit the internet like a thunderclap at midnight, unexpected, explosive, and powerful enough to freeze the entire entertainment world in place. Hou Minghao and Yuexiao, two rising stars whose names had circled each other in rumors for months, had finally confirmed what fans had only dared to whisper. They were in a relationship. No gradual hints. No teasing interviews. No carefully planned PR rollout. Just a sudden, unmistakable revelation that ignited social media in seconds. Moments before the storm erupted, both actors had been quietly returning from separate schedules. Hou Minghao had wrapped a late-night shoot, his face still dusted with the fatigue of back-to-back filming days. Yuexiao had just finished a fan event, still wearing the soft smile she always carried for her supporters. There was no sign, no warning, that their worlds were about to collide in the most dramatic way possible. It happened when Minghao, in a rare moment of raw honesty, posted a picture on his private social media account. A picture that was never meant to be public. A picture of two intertwined hands resting softly on a cafe table. The faint glow of lamplight illuminating Yuexiao's recognizable bracelet. Within minutes, the photo leaked. Not by malice. Not by betrayal, simply by accident. A synchronization glitch. A momentary lapse in settings. A technical fluke that turned a private memory into a nationwide shockwave. By the time he realized the mistake, it was too late. Screenshots had already multiplied across platforms like wildfire. Hashtags surged upward as if pulled by magnetic force. Fans began analyzing every pixel, every shadow, every line of the bracelet they had seen countless times in her photos. Within 30 seconds, her name trended globally. Within 1 minute, theirs were linked in thousands of posts. And within 2, the internet had already declared it the most sensational relationship reveal of the year. While chaos erupted outside, the scene inside Minghao's apartment was far quieter, but infinitely more intense. His phone vibrated non-stop, notifications piling faster than he could breathe. He stared at the image, at the cascade of messages from his manager, agency, his friends. His heartbeat thudded heavily in his chest. He had always imagined confessing the relationship someday, when things were stable, when schedules weren't suffocating. The world felt safer, but not like this. With the entire internet dissecting every frame of their secret within minutes, Yuexiao, miles away, received the news in the middle of removing her makeup. Her assistant rushed into the dressing room, phone trembling in her hand, whispering her name in a tone that cracked like thin ice. Yuexiao froze when she saw the photo, her reflection in the mirror flickering with emotions, fear, shock, disbelief, and beneath them all, something deeper, relief. Truth was out, messy as it was. But relief lasted only seconds before panic surged in its place. Her team burst into the room with hurried footsteps, debating plans, crafting explanations, crafting statements. She sat there in silence, watching her world blur into urgency around her. And through the noise, she realized the truth. No matter how this had happened, no longer an option. The world knew. The world wanted answers. That night, the internet did not sleep. Fans posted messages of support mixed with frantic speculation. Comment sections flooded as users tried to piece together when they had begun dating, how long they had kept it secret, and whether the chemistry that once seemed like coincidence had been hiding something more. Every past interview was rewatched. Every glance between them was reinterpreted. Every coincidence bloomed into a clue. Meanwhile, inside a quiet car speeding across the city, Yuexiao pressed her forehead to the window, fogging the glass. Her chest tightened as she imagined Minghao sitting alone, overwhelmed by a revelation neither of them could undo. Their relationship had survived long-distance schedules, harsh filming conditions, and the constant pressure of fame, but now it was facing the one thing they had always feared, the uncontrolled force of the public eye. The city lights flickered like restless fire as she whispered his name, wishing she could reach him. Across the city, he whispered hers back, wishing she were there. But the night wasn't over, and the most shocking twist was still ahead. Just as agencies prepared official statements, fans braced for answers. An anonymous post surfaced online, claiming to possess unseen details about the relationship, and hinting that their romance began much earlier than anyone knew. The world stopped breathing, because this leak threatened to turn a sweet confession into something far more complicated. Anonymous post broke across platforms like a spark landing in dry leaves, small at first, almost invisible, then rapidly swelling into a burning wildfire that no one could ignore. User claimed to have witnessed Hou Minghao and Yuexiao together long before the public ever suspected anything. The message was vague. The tone was ominous enough to feed the already frantic atmosphere. Screenshots were reposted endlessly. Tensions spiraled, and theories exploded with terrifying speed. Inside Minghao's apartment, tension wrapped the air like a tightening rope. His manager arrived with exhaustion etched into his expression, flipping through dozens of tabs filled with fan reactions, commentary from journalists, and the growing pressure from competitors eager to benefit from the chaos. Minghao sat at the edge of his couch, hands clasped tightly, unable to tear his gaze from the screen. He worried not for himself, but for Yuexiao. She had always carried her emotions quietly. Like a glass heart, she feared the world would shatter if she wasn't careful. Meanwhile, Yuexiao stepped into her agency's crisis room, greeted by a sea of glowing monitors and frantic voices. Her team kept reassuring her that everything would settle. The online frenzy would soon burn itself out. Yet the cracks in their composure revealed the truth. They were as overwhelmed as she was. She sank into a chair, her chest heavy, thoughts swirling back to the photo that had started everything. She never blamed Minghao. She knew how delicate their hidden world had been. Easily a single slip could unravel months of caution. But part of her wondered, was the world ready to accept them? Her phone buzzed. A message from Minghao appeared on the screen. "I'm here. I'm not running. Face this together." Her breath shook. Those simple words steadied her more than anything else could. As dawn approached, both agencies agreed on a joint statement, a rare move, symbolizing unity. Yet before they could release it, something unexpected happened. Minghao requested permission to speak directly. Not through polished agency language. Not through filtered explanations. His own words. His manager hesitated, aware of how fragile public sentiment could be. Something in Minghao's voice, steady, earnest, lewd, signaled that this wasn't a reckless decision. It was the only decision. Minutes later, Minghao recorded a short video. He looked tired, eyes shadowed, but his voice carried unwavering sincerity as he addressed the world. He explained the accidental post, confirmed the relationship, and, most importantly, the Yuexiao, emphasizing that she bore no fault, no intention, no responsibility for the chaos that followed. Ended the message with a truth that silenced millions. Care for her deeply. That's the beginning and end of it. When the clip went live, the internet erupted again, but this time, differently. Fans cried. Others fell silent under the weight of his honesty. Even critics found themselves caught off guard by the raw vulnerability in his expression. Then, just as waves of emotion rippled across the digital landscape, Yuexiao stepped into the spotlight with her own message. Her voice trembled as she thanked fans for their understanding and apologized for the shock. But she made one thing unmistakably clear: she stood by Minghao. Their combined sincerity became a force stronger than the swirling rumors. The anonymous post lost momentum. Frenzy began to soften. Support flooded in from around the world. For the first time since the revelation, both stars breathed freely. That night, they met in a quiet rooftop garden, the city glowing beneath them like scattered embers. Minghao wrapped his arms around her, the cool wind brushing their faces as they held each other without saying a word. No cameras. No leaks. No noise. Just two hearts steadying after a storm they never intended to unleash. The world may have exploded in seconds, but somehow survived the blast. And together, they stepped into whatever came next, stronger than the fear, louder than the rumors, and unafraid of the light now shining directly on them. And, when the chaos finally settled into a distant hum, Yuexiao and Yuexiao stood together stronger than anyone expected. What began as a sudden dental revelation had erupted into one of the most intense storms the industry had seen in years. Through every rumor, every headline, every wave of speculation, they held on to the one thing that mattered, the truth of their feelings. And as the world slowly shifted from shock to acceptance, a new chapter unfolded. Not driven by secrecy, sincerity. Their story, once hidden in shadows, now shone openly under the city lights, proving that even the most unexpected moments can forge unbreakable bonds. Thank you for staying with us through every twist, every heartbeat, and every electrifying moment of this journey. Time, your curiosity, and your support mean more than we can ever express. Stay with us, because more untold stories, more behind-the-scenes revelations, and more captivating moments are coming your way right here,